office. This is Jesse. How can I help you?
Hello, Jesse. I am trying to get a hold of Robert Harvoy.
Okay, and your name?
Sean Schwartz.
Okay, just a moment, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Bob Harvoy here.
This is Sean.
Yes.
I want you to understand that every time I turn in a police officer, I have to deal with this. Every single time. As far as questioning my competency, it would be more beneficial to look at the body cameras and the other evidence.
Well, I will ask for those if I remain as your attorney.
As far as questioning my competency, I am incompetent as far as electronics go. That's most of my issue through all of this, as far as showing evidence, is my inability with electronics. Does that make sense? There's also the fact that I've had to be in a constant state of movement. Autism is not a choice. And I should have somebody there and present who can help me to turn in my predators. Now, there's several people who have made mention and noticed that things go kind of sort of well and smooth until I start talking about the wrongdoing of officers, and then people's ears turn off, especially other officers and hospitals.
No, that's probably true, Sean. I mean, I don't dispute that.
Thank you, sir.
You know, on the other hand, you know, the officers and county attorney are the ones that make a call on whether a crime's been committed. So if they're not willing to investigate it, you know, at some point you either, you know, keep beating your head against the same wall or move on.
Sorry, there's a train. Sorry about that.
Yeah, not a problem.
That's the thing with sensory processing issues. I didn't used to be like this. For my entire life, like I had to learn to be funny because a lot of times I wouldn't catch a conversation. I don't ever catch a conversation unless it's one-on-one. So if it's not one-on-one, then I end up just catching little bits and pieces of words whenever it's only one person talking. If there's several people talking and there's background noise, there's literally nothing I can do to comprehend the situation, nothing at all. And that's been a very frustrating situation for me, especially when I'm having difficulties trying to explain to people, hey, I'm in an overwhelming environment. There's literally nothing that I can do to be able to work on anything. There is nothing that I can do to process at all. Now, as far as competency goes, I'm not going to Scotts Bluff. That's just not going to happen. Now, if there is an individual in the area that can make house visits, that might be able to work, but I don't have the ability to travel. Does that make sense?
Well, I don't know what, I guess, who the county attorney is looking to do the evaluation.
Well, the problem is that there's a conflict of interest with the county attorney.
Well, yeah, but on the other hand, if they're the ones that want file the motion and want it done, they're the ones that are paying the bill. And if we disagree with it, we could, you know, do something else. But
So it's either go to their doctored idiots or pay money that I don't have. That's the thing, is that this literally screws people who are too broke to defend themselves. I can't afford to live on $9,800 a year, especially when I'm spending $12,000 a year to jump through hoops and travel and to pay for help that's not helping. Does that make sense?
that makes sense. I'm not disputing that. I mean, but I don't know who. I mean, my guess is the doctor would do the evaluation in chapel if possible, or they have to somehow arrange and pay for some transportation for you.
Well, the thing is that there are safety concerns with the Dual County Sheriff's Department that have been ongoing for at least 3 years, and they do need to be addressed. That's a lot of the issue here, is that these officers have not only made me at risk, they have actually, at this point, physically harmed me. Between looking at evidence and trying to do this mental competency stuff, it's pretty important to look at the evidence. Now, I've noticed that there's a big difference between being able to go to your own doctor and going to a doctor that's basically state ordained for doing railroading, and there are a lot of those. I'm not okay with a kangaroo court. If I have to suck dick on Colfax to get the money to see a real doctor, then I gotta suck dick. That's just how it is. I do have Medica, whatever it is, so that should cover me being able to see a shrink, correct?
I have no idea what your policy would cover without looking at it.
I don't either. I don't have the ability to process that. That's the thing, is that I can talk. I can't process complicated stuff like that. I haven't been able to for about 4 years, and I've been trying, but with everything else that I've got going on, like I don't know how to do any of that. That's why I need the caseworker present, but it's also apparently I'm supposed to have a caseworker named Tara. It's either Tara Miller or Tara Smith. I can't remember which. I don't have her phone number.
I think it's probably Tara Smith, I believe. Makes sense. I think she works with HHS.
All right.
Human Services.
I don't have a pen handy. Can you text me her number?
Not sure I have her number, but I can give you the number for HHS in Ogallala to see if they can't give you the.
I thought she was out of Scotts Bluff.
I was thinking she's out. Tara Smith's out of the Ogallala office. I was thinking, but maybe I'm wrong.
Will that work? If you could, go ahead.
What's that?
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Also, with the last phone call that we had, this is a very complicated situation. If we could get a little bit more time, I might be able to go through this stuff, but I do need housing. And
well, and Tara, HHS may help you. I think it's Tara Smith, and I think she's out of the Ogallala office, but I would think the Health and Human Service office in Ogallala would be able to tell you where she's at.
Yes, sir.
The Ogallala number that I have for Health and Human Services is 284-8080.
Let me.
There you go. Oh.
Hold on. Maybe I can't type it into that phone, but I can type it into this phone, I guess, and then try to pull it from it. What's the
You want
number?
me to, area code 308
Okay,
284
okay,
8080.
all right. Create new contact. First name AADHS. Neb for Nebraska. All right. The situation last time we talked on the phone is that I was under a great deal of stress, and it was just difficult with both y'all talking. It's not that you were talking over each other, it's just that it was going too fast for me. When I'm overwhelmed like this, I do need people to talk slowly, and I need people to, it might take up to a minute when I'm asked a question for me to answer. I have an auto response button, basically, is the best way to explain it. If you ask me a question and I don't have time to process the answer, that's the auto response button. That doesn't mean that the answer is actually no. It's that I'm overwhelmed and no, I can't answer it at the moment. I need a minute.
Okay.
So if I say no, then let me have up to a minute to try to answer, because I do have a lot going through my mind, and I'm trying to fight to change some laws, sir, because this is not okay. As far as the body cameras go, I need the body cameras from every person who was there. Rather than call my competency into question, they do need to take a look at that body camera evidence. I wasn't resisting arrest. Matter of fact, I have the majority of it already on my YouTube. The thing is that I was complying every step of the way. The thing is that I was calling one place who was telling me to call another, who was telling me to call another. I literally went back and forth between Nebraska State Patrol and the Dual County Sheriff's Department, back and forth over and over again. There's got to be a way for disabled people to not have to go through this. It should not be that complicated to get someone there to help file a police report against these people.
Okay. Well, and Tara, maybe, with Adult Protective Services, she may have ways avenues to get you some protection and help.
Well, a lot of that, she was too busy listening to Scott the last time that we spoke. Scott Costa, she was too busy listening to him rather than listening to me. And that did present a lot of a safety issue between me and her, especially since she has been involved in this situation with the Dual County Sheriff's Department since 2018, when I was first trying to turn in Jared Hahn and also one of the other officers here, as well as there's a state patrolman named Bill Burr. So this has all been ongoing for years. My safety has not been considered in any of this, and I can't just take the abuse just because police officers don't want to investigate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine. If you want to give Tara a call and see if she can help you, and we go from there.
Yes, sir. Should I call you back tomorrow?
That would be fine.
Yes, sir. Also, I'm supposed to meet with the Nebraska State Patrol tomorrow to try to show them my evidence, but they said that if there's the crime is on it, like I said that there is, if they see those actual crimes, then they have to take it. I don't know what to do in this situation, because some of this stuff is needed for this court date. Some of it is needed for my court date in Larimer County. I don't know what to do, sir.
Obviously, if they take your evidence, see if they won't give you a receipt of what they took.
So there's no way to make duplicates or anything of that nature?
Well, if they're willing to make them, I'm not in Dual County to make them right now.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Is there any way that I could coordinate with you and reschedule my date with them, and then try to just have an oral visitation tomorrow with them?
I don't know what their procedure are. I'm not available in the afternoon tomorrow. So I don't know what time your meeting was.
Sometime in the afternoon, but I'm not sure exactly what time in the afternoon.
Obviously, if you have a chance for them to actually wanting to sit down with you and go over things, I think you're probably better off to take that opportunity when it presents itself.
Yes, sir. Even if it means them taking the stuff that I need for my Larimer County court date, as well as the other situations.
You know, if they took stuff as evidence, make sure you have a name and a badge number. And if I need to request it or have to request it, I will request it from the county attorney. And they will have to turn at least a copy back to me if it's relevant in your case.
Yes, sir. Well, if I had some help with this stuff electronically in person, like all of this stuff, it's possible to give them literally everything electronically. That he does, don't have the technical abilities.
Okay. Yeah, so if they're willing to meet with you, Sean, you can meet with them, go over things, and see if they can help you.
All right.
All right?
All right. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Fucking Christ. Dual County Sheriff's Department number, right? By the way, assault by Sergeant Blanco, attempted intimidation, 12/17/2019. Officer Ward, intimidation, 12/18/2019. Sauter, Ward, picking on a disabled person. These guys really get a fucking kick out of making fun of me in these places. That's why cameras with audio need to be present in every single jail in America. There's also Jen Beebe from Region 1. It's got her phone number. The problem is, calling Jen Beebe is about like bashing my head against a brick wall. It's not going to do any good. She's a moron. See. There's another one. See, these officers kept on being antagonists. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is. Me? I'm an antagonist too. Not sure if you noticed, but I'll antagonize people back. I don't mind. If it's wrong for me, then it's wrong for them, and they shouldn't have done it to begin with. There's a bunch of phone numbers I wrote down that I don't know where they're to or where they're from. See, here's my outpatient follow-up. It says, I will attend therapy with Nicole Peralta of Corona Counseling. And then it says, denies any weapons. No, I am literally always armed. Always. This can be used as a weapon. This can be used as a weapon. Hell, even my beard can be used as a weapon. So denying having any weapons, they just assumed and wrote it down. But I want you to look at that name on there. Nicole Peralta. Corona Counseling. Now my question is, how is Corona Counseling going to do me any good when they never called me back? Sorry, they called me back once and then never again. I made repeat phone calls. Let's see, Part 4, support system, Brenda D, Jen Beebe, and Nicole. Who's Brenda D? That's Brenda Dickinson across the street. I need to be able to go someplace where the man who owns this place doesn't... He can't bring himself to say no to me staying here because he doesn't want me to freeze to death. He cares too much. He cares if I freeze to death. And that needs to be something that he's not harmed over. That needs to be something that isn't held against him as if he's some sort of a terrible person. Now, when is this from? This is my safety plan for my discharge. And oddly, you might not believe this, but there's no date. Ah, 3/5. That can't be right. Because this one would have been from December of... Oh, Christ. December of 2019. They get away with these things because people don't have the money for a civil lawyer. They literally did everything that they could not to look at the evidence of abuse. Who's they? Well, here's the thing. At the hospitals, now don't get me wrong, there's people that are there who really do think that they are purple dinosaurs, or think that aliens are shooting rays into their head to make them think that the devil is coming to get them and that they're Jesus Christ and shit like that. Okay? But then there's people who say, hey, I was assaulted by an officer. they treat you the same.